Hi, I'm Rikk Beatty, Ampeg product specialist and clinician. In this video, we're going to take an in-depth look and listen into what Baxandall EQ is all about and why it was the obvious choice for the new GVT guitar amps. Baxandall EQ is synonymous with Ampeg, and it played a key role in our highly regarded guitar tones found in the vintage VTs and Reverber rockets. You can also find Baxandall EQ in high-end studio gear, and it's well known to audiophiles around the world as being one of the most dynamic and flexible EQs available. Sure, it costs more than traditional tone stacks, but the results are well worth it. There are three primary benefits to Baxandall EQ: non-overlapping frequency bands, wide range of controls, and mid-band gain staging. Let's take a close look and listen to how this unique EQ circuitry works. Non-overlapping bands means that the high, mid, and low EQ bands do not overlap each other. This allows you to adjust any band up or down without affecting the frequencies of the other bands. The big benefit here is that changes to one band won't destroy your hard work of dialing in the sound of adjacent bands. Let's listen to a couple of examples. Listen to this clean tone and notice how high and low frequencies are not affected when turning down the mid-band control. In this blues tone, you'll notice how adjustments to the high and low bands do not affect the mid-band frequencies. Here's what Guitar Player had to say about Baxandall EQ in a recent GVT review.
The main difference here is that Baxandall-style tone controls function more independently on their relative frequency bands, and don't interact in the same manner that tone controls do on Fender, Marshall, Mesa Boogie, and the vast majority of other amps. The Baxandall factor is an important aspect of the Ampeg GVT models. It's a big part of why they have such a signature sound.
Another key aspect of the Baxandall tone stack is the wide range of controls. GVT tone controls offer a plus to minus 12 dB of range on the highs and low bands. Listen to this amazing range of EQ we can get by rolling the treble and bass controls from 0 to 10. Most amplifiers will only give us a quarter of this range, which would be from here to here. The classic Baxandall EQ was a two-band EQ. However, we've improved on the original design by adding a mid-range control. It offers up to negative 10 dB of cut at 800 Hz, which is designed to easily get that well-known scooped mid-tone. This added mid-range control ties into our final key aspect of the Baxandall EQ, mid-band gain staging. This mid-band control was intentionally placed before the high and low EQ in the signal chain so that it would not only act as a mid-range tone control, but also as a secondary gain stage to the amplifier. This is why there's a 6 dB of boost available centered at 2K, which is ideally suited for additional distortion. To demonstrate this, I'm going to start out with the settings dimed to get distortion and then turn the mids all the way down so you can hear how it cleans up. You can really hear how the mids can add or subtract from your overall distortion. Premier Guitar recently reviewed the GVT 15-watt combo, and here's what they had to say about Baxandall EQ.
Interestingly, and this is a high point if you're a fan of vintage Ampeg amps, the 3-band EQ section utilizes a Baxandall EQ configuration. If you're like most players, you've probably rarely heard of this type of EQ, but when well executed, this type is typically much more interactive than the more common multi-band stack. Dropping the highs and lows can actually boost the mid-range in a Baxandall EQ. And while it can take some getting used to, when used properly, it makes the amp sound much more distinct. It was a hallmark in old Ampeg amp designs, and a big reason why so many players gravitate towards these classic pieces of gear.
Ampeg GVT amplifiers are all about straight-up tone. These amplifiers were designed with the serious guitar player's needs in mind. When it comes to the heart of the amplifier, we wanted a special EQ that could deliver an enormous amount of tonal options, and we found that in Baxandall EQ. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the other GVT videos on our Ampeg YouTube channel.